I was 29 when it happened, working as a mid-level network technician for a small logistics company in Oregon. Not important enough to be essential, but just essential enough that I couldn't fully go offline when the world shut down in 2020. My job became remote, which really just meant I was always reachable. My phone buzzed at all hours. Emails never stopped. My boss discovered that if you don't physically leave work anymore, people assume you're always available. I lived alone in a narrow second-floor apartment in a tired beige stucco complex on the edge of the city. Nothing fancy. Paint chipped in the hallways. The stairwell smelled faintly of wet carpet and old cigarettes. Most of my neighbors were older, quiet types. I barely knew their names, just faces in passing. When lockdown started, life collapsed inward. Grocery runs once a week. No visitors. No noise except the hum of my refrigerator and occasional sirens in the distance. I ordered too much takeout, gained 15 pounds, barely shaved. The days blurred into one long, dim-lit room. I handled isolation better than most, I thought. I've always been the type who can entertain themselves for hours. Streaming marathons, video games, air-frying frozen food, scrolling until my thumb hurts. Nothing about that week felt unique at first. It was just another Tuesday in a string of identical days. I woke up late, made coffee, logged into work still wearing sweatpants. I didn't know then that by nightfall, I would be sitting on my kitchen floor with a knife in my hand, listening to someone breathe on the other side of my bedroom wall. The day was painfully uneventful. A system reset issue in Nevada, a driver email complaining about delays, a lunch break I barely noticed because I ate standing up while staring at my phone. Around 3 in the afternoon, I finally forced myself outside, just for air. My apartment felt too still, too quiet. Everyone avoided eye contact back then. Masks, gloves, a shared background anxiety nobody talked about out loud. The grocery store had arrows on the floor and plexiglass at checkout. People flinched if you reached for the same shelf. I stood in line, 6 feet behind an old man who smelled like hand sanitizer and stale tobacco. His hands shook as he loaded cat food onto the belt. When it was my turn, the cashier barely looked up. "Find everything okay?" she asked, voice muffled by fabric. "Yeah," I said. I always said yeah. I grabbed frozen lasagna, microwave burritos, cereal, and beer. The kind of shopping that says, I do not expect joy this week. When I got home, I noticed one of the hallway lights was out again. The flickering bulb near my door had finally died, leaving only a dim emergency light at the stairwell's end. My apartment smelled faintly like dust when I stepped inside. I tossed my keys into a bowl, wiped down groceries, and cracked open a beer I probably didn't need. I queued up something mindless, a crime show I wouldn't remember tomorrow. Around 7, I cooked dinner and listened to an old voicemail from my mom. She'd called 3 days earlier. I kept avoiding pressing play. "You should come stay with me," she'd said. "This isn't natural being alone like that." I didn't call her back. I never did anything that night. That was the problem. Nothing happening let my thoughts get loud. By 10 o'clock, I was restless. My phone had no notifications, no emails, no texts. Then I heard it. Not something loud, just a soft bump, like a door somewhere closing gently. At first, I thought it was my neighbor. The walls were thin enough that I sometimes heard coughing, a TV, someone walking. But this wasn't coming from any specific direction. It sounded like it was inside my apartment. I paused the show. Silence. I held my breath. The refrigerator hummed, pipes ticked faintly. That was it. I told myself I was hearing things, lockdown paranoia, too much quiet messes with your head. I unpaused and turned the volume up slightly. 5 minutes later, another noise. This time sharper, like the faintest scrape, not metal, not plastic. More like fabric brushing a wall. I muted the TV completely. My heart started doing that annoying thing where it beats too hard, too fast, for no reason at all. I stood up slowly. The living room looked the same. Couch, coffee table, the pile of unopened mail I kept meaning to sort through. I checked the front door, locked. I walked into the kitchen, nothing out of place. When I stepped into the hallway outside my bedroom, I felt it. Not a sound, a presence. You know when someone is nearby even when you can't see them, when the air feels occupied. That. I opened the bathroom door first. Light off. Empty. The shower curtain hung still. Then I moved toward my bedroom. Halfway down the hallway, something shifted. A sound so quiet I almost missed it. A soft exhale. Not mine. I froze. I stood there for a full minute, listening to my own pulse pound in my ears. I wanted to laugh, to blame the pipes, the AC, my imagination. But you cannot unhear a breath. My phone buzzed in my hand. I nearly dropped it. A notification from my work email. Nothing urgent. I didn't open it. I did something stupid instead. I whispered, "Hello?" The word barely left my mouth. Nothing answered. I started toward my bedroom again, slowly. Every step felt like walking into someone else's nightmare. I stood outside my bedroom door, staring at the cheap brass handle like it might turn on its own. The thing is, I locked my bedroom door every night, every single night, habit from childhood. When I reached out and touched the knob, it was cold. I twisted. It opened. My stomach dropped so hard I thought I might throw up. Inside, everything looked normal at first glance. Bed made, laptop on the desk, closet door partially open. I flicked the light on. Nothing jumped out at me, no movement, no shadow. I took a step inside. Then I noticed my laptop screen was on. I knew for a fact I had shut it before dinner. The screen glowed faint blue, reflecting off the wall like some sick moonlight. I walked closer. On the screen, my email inbox was open. Scrolled halfway down. Unread emails marked as opened. I backed away from the desk slowly. That smell hit me then. Not rot, not sweat, something else, like breath on stale fabric. I turned toward the closet. Its door was slightly more open than when I first noticed it. It creaked as it moved, just enough to expose darkness inside. Not the empty kind, the occupied kind. I grabbed a kitchen knife from a drawer without realizing I'd moved. I stood at the doorway, gripping it like it might become part of me. The silence was deafening. Then, something shifted inside the closet. Slow, heavy. A shoe softly touched the floor, not mine. I whispered again, quieter this time. "Who's there?" A voice answered. Low, close. "I'm not here to hurt you." My body locked up so fast I could barely breathe. The voice didn't sound drunk, didn't sound angry. It sounded tired, too tired. The closet door moved another inch. I raised the knife, hand shaking violently. "Stay back," I said. I've never felt dumber saying words out loud, as if people who hide in closets care about boundaries. A man stepped into view, early 40s maybe, long hair pulled back, unshaven but intentional. He wore a brown jacket and a dark hoodie underneath it, like someone who planned to be outside, but wasn't. His eyes went straight to the knife. then back to my face. "I just needed a place to sit," he said. I swallowed hard. "In my apartment?" "I came in before you got back." My heart pounded so hard I felt dizzy. "How?" I said. He didn't answer. Instead, he rubbed his forehead and sighed. His behavior would have made sense if he'd been a drunk or high or frantic, but he wasn't. He just looked resigned, like this was a minor inconvenience to him. "That laptop," I said. "What did you do on it?" He glanced at it. "Nothing important." "Get out." "I will. I need 5 minutes." "No," I said. "Now." He shifted his weight and moved 1 foot toward me. I swung the knife without thinking, not to stab, to scare. The blade cut only air, but the message landed. His eyes sharpened instantly, not angry, alert, like a predator realizing prey might bite. "Okay," he said quietly. "Okay." Slowly, carefully, he raised his hands. Then he smiled. Not big, not warm, just empty. "That door," he said, pointing behind me. "You might want to lock it better next time." Then he walked past me, close enough that I smelled his breath. Metallic. He stepped into the hallway and vanished down the stairs. I locked every door. Then I sat on my kitchen floor, shaking so badly my teeth rattled in my head. When the police finally arrived, they treated it like a prank. No forced entry, nothing stolen. "No signs of struggle," one said. I told them he walked right out. One officer shrugged. "Probably homeless. Broke in, got spooked, left." They took a statement. That was it. I didn't sleep. I didn't eat. I barely blinked. I wiped down my laptop until my hands were raw. I spent the rest of lockdown at my mom's house. And I never returned to that apartment again. 3 years later, I was going through my old email one night when I noticed something strange. A draft, saved at 8:43 p.m. No subject, just one line. Still here. I never typed it. But someone did, and they saved it from inside my apartment.